We will spend 2 days and 2 nights in St. Petersburg. We have a very busy sightseeing program. We settled in St. Petersburg in a mini hotel called Jasmine, which is located on the Fontanka embankment in the historical center of the city on the Neva. After passing through the arch of the hotel building, we find ourselves on the Fontanka embankment, carefully opposite the Mikhailovsky or engineering castle, and then we pass over the Panelai-Manovsky Bridge, one of the most beautiful bridges in St. Petersburg. The first location we have for today in St. Petersburg is the famous Chivik Pivik, a small figure weighing 5 kilograms and 11 centimeters high. Where have you been? On the Fontanka River drinking vodka. Here's the Fontanka River and here's the Moika River. Crazy traffic in St. Petersburg, so many people in huge numbers. Boats, cars, buses, real tourist capital of Russia, Iverskaya Chapel Sacristy, and if I scroll the camera behind my back is the Cathedral of the Savior on the Blood. The Cathedral of the Savior on Blood was built on the place where Emperor Alexander II was mortally wounded as a result of an assassination attempt in 1881. Opposite the cathedral there is the Mikhailovsky Garden drowning in greenery with an insanely beautiful wrought iron fence different from all the fences of the city on the Neva. After the Cathedral of the Savior on Blood and Mikhailovsky Garden, we follow the fair organized on the embankment of the Gribodov Canal and headed towards Nevsky Prospect. Having reached it, we stopped to look closely at the house of the Singer Company built in 1902 to 1904. Having admired the Singer's house, we crossed Nevsky Prospect and turned down near the Kazan Cathedral. Kazan Cathedral is one of the largest temples of St. Petersburg, was built on Nevsky Prospect in 1801 to 1811 in the Empire style. We decided to have lunch in one of the establishments of a huge chain of catering in St. Petersburg in Canteen No. 1 on Nevsky Prospect. Nevsky Center of St. Petersburg. This is the dining room. Let's see how we spend tonight. Time will tell. Borscht with chicken. Let's see the ingredients first. Let's try it. It tastes good. For the second course, mashed potatoes and chicken breast. We dip it all in the mashed potatoes. It's edible. Edible? We refreshed ourselves walking along Bolshaya Street, passing under the Arc de Triomphe and heading for the Hermitage entrance. Tickets purchased online on the Hermitage website. Adult 500 rubles, discount 300, children free. The main museum complex can be accessed from 2 directions, either from the side of the Jordan staircase or from the side of the church staircase. We choose the first. We entered the territory of the Hermitage. We have route number 1. We enter from Palace Square and go up the Jordan staircase. Let's go and see what the Hermitage looks like today from the inside. Climbing the central Jordanian staircase of the Hermitage, red. A carpeted path, a few flights, and we are at the top. As they write on the Hermitage website when buying tickets, the time sufficient for viewing the exposition is 2 hours. We were enough for 1.5, so in principle, as they say, 2 hours is okay. And to finish today's evening in the northern capital, we have to take a boat on the rivers and canals of Saint Petersburg. The warm saloon is closed there is under repair and we will sit freezing here on the open deck said summer in general do not get into it. The name of our excursion is Rivers and Canals. This is probably one of the most significant routes through the historical center of the city. It covers the part of the city that was settled one of the first. Duration of excursion 1 hour 5 minutes is carried out daily from 11 o'clock till 22 start from embankment of the river Fontanka House 71. During the excursion you will be able to see the Trinity Cathedral, Semi-Most, Nikolsky Cathedral, Mariinsky Theater, New Holland, St. Isaac's Cathedral, Nevsky Prospect, Palace Square, Hermitage, Peter and Paul Fortress, Arrow of Vasilyevsky Island, Summer Garden, Chithik Pivik, Mihailovsky Castle, Anishkov Palace and many other sites of the city. Good morning. The second day of our stay in the city on the Neva, and today we have, as well as yesterday, an extensive excursion program. First we will visit the cruiser Aurora and walk around it. After that by noon we will be at the Peter and Paul Fortress and hear the cannon shot. After lunch we plan to visit the Grand Model Museum where all the main sites of our vast country are built in miniature.
Где выстроены в миниатюре все основные достопримечательности нашей необъятной страны.
After 40 minutes and 2.5 kilometers by walking step from our hotel we find ourselves at this wonderful cruiser called Aurora. It is one of the few ships of the past in the Emperor, who began its construction in 1896. Participated in the Battle of Tsushima Russian-Japanese War. Blank shot marked the Great October Revolution and participated in the defense of Leningrad, provided air defense. On the way from the cruiser Aurora, Peter and Paul Fortress we pass this very first house of Peter. Now we do not stop, want to be in time for the 12 o'clock shot from the cannon, so we run. The Peter and Paul Fortress is the oldest architectural monument in Saint Petersburg. The fortress of the first class is located on an island in Saint Petersburg. The date of laying the fortress on May 27, 1703 is the date of foundation of Saint Petersburg. The fortress was never used in any battle. From the first quarter of the 18th century to the early 1920s it served as a prison. Since 1924 it has been a state museum. With a real flying gate we ran to the Peter and Paul Fortress. These are the famous cannons, one of which will fire a shot at noon. We've just got 10 minutes left. Let's wait. That's the noon cannon firing. And now we're going to the cathedral square of the Peter and Paul Fortress. Come and see those famous gilded spires. Once again, the shot will be very loud and you have to be mentally prepared for it. Here it is, the beautiful Peter and Paul Cathedral of the fortress of the same name. The spire and bell tower can be seen from almost all points of St. Petersburg. Peter and Paul Cathedral is considered one of the symbols of St. Petersburg. Its majestic bell tower with an angel is one of the tallest buildings in the city. It serves as a landmark for city residents and tourists and is often depicted on postcards and souvenirs. On the territory of the Mint you can take part in a master class on hand casting paper well, and in general great small number of people. Such a chamber atmosphere is not that they're on the territory of the main objects of the fortress Peter and Paul. It is certainly quieter here. Sobornaya Square is the crown of the architectural ensemble of the central alley of the Petropavlovsk Fortress. Main site is architectural dominance. Here are Pavlovsk Cathedral House, or as the Prince's Hospital, and the Mint. In souvenir shops of a fortress we met the big variety of souvenir production which is presented not only magnets but also various products including handmade. At the exit from the fortress we are met by a family of hares. Photo zone. Help the hare to get on the stump. And also a view of the Neva River, where you can approach and touch the water with your hands. From the Peter and Paul Fortress through Burger King we head to the subway to check the quality of the St. Petersburg subway. We go from Gorkovskaya station to Moskovsky Voroda station, and there we walk to the exhibition hall of Grand Maquette Museum. In our excursion program in St. Petersburg, we included a visit to the Grand Layout Russia. We went to the territory of the Grand Layout. Adult ticket 780-490 and preferential on Mondays for pensioners at 520 rubles, and we go to look. The museum's exposition is the largest model of Russia in the world with an area of 800 square meters, which is an artistic embodiment of the image of our country, from its far eastern borders to the amber coast of the Baltic Sea. Dozens of various specialists have been working round the clock for 5 years on its creation. On the model field are transferred collective images of various cities and regions, and genre scenes depict virtually all types of human activity. The dynamics of the composition is provided by railroad and automobile traffic, and various scenes with moving objects and figures are controlled by spectators. More than 200 railway trains run along intricate routes with a total length of almost 2,500 meters and turn the layout into a single living organism. In the automobile movement, which uses electromagnetic induction as a power source for cars for the first time in the world in layout construction, will not leave any visitor indifferent. Dozens of different cars will surprise with the complexity and uniqueness of their movement, while their headlights, brake lights and turn signals add brightness to the exposition and illuminate the roads at night. Every 15 minutes, night falls over the layout from east to west, using nearly 800,000 LEDs to simulate the night. The sea of lights makes the experience of seeing the layout truly unforgettable. Grand model of Russia is 115,000 inhabitants, 214 moving cars, 1,000 meters of railway track, 227 railway signals, 452 railway switches, 800 square meters of area. Interesting, you need to come for the whole. The museum complex has a well thought out infrastructure, parking lot, convenient checkroom area, cafe, clean toilets, audio guide and binoculars rental. For people with special health needs there are separate parking lots, an elevating platform, a specially equipped toilet. For small visitors there are special steps at the layout, all amenities in the sanitary room and in the cafe, mother and child room, parking for strollers. Day organization is also on top, everything very much like we have just visited the National Show Museum Grand Maquette Russia. Tickets for entry looks like this with a barcode on the back, and the price, as I said, for an adult is 780 rubles, child passes for 490. Also there are booklets with a map of the scheme can be seen inside. The entire layout can be used. After the Grand Maquette we took the subway through Admiralteyskaya station and went to St. Isaac's Cathedral. Here it is, beautiful St. Isaac's Cathedral. Entrance ticket costs 450 rubles and climb up 45 meters of ascend another 300. Benefits for children: entrance ticket 200 rubles, pensioners 200 rubles. Let's see it from the outside and go to the Copper Horseman monument to Peter the Great. Well, and then we'll see. We've already had enough of running around, and this is only the beginning of our week-long trip. Peter is taking its toll. Basically, like all big cities like Moscow, they said the same thing in Moscow. This is all that we had time to see in St. Petersburg for 2 days. Subscribe to the channel, put likes, write comments ahead of many more interesting and memorable trips and travels. Bye bye everyone.